Hi guys, today we're going to be making triple chocolate biscotti, which is one of my favorite treats. What you're going to need for this recipe, I've got some eggs and vanilla in my bowl. I've got sugar, some pastry flour and cocoa powder and baking powder and salt in a little whisk in here, all sifted and ready to go. Some semi-sweet chocolate chips and some instant espresso powder. You're also going to need a whisk, a spatula, and a KitchenAid mixer. And right now what I'm going to do is pop the sugar and eggs together. We're going to whisk it up, and then we're going to put this over some heat on a bain-marie, which is just some water I've got simmering in a pan over here on this range. So once this is kind of emulsified all together in the bowl, I'm going to go right to the stove, and we're going to cook this over the bain-marie until it gets to 110 degrees Fahrenheit. So most importantly, while this is on the stove, you're going to want to whisk most of the time. We just want to prevent any of those eggs from coagulating and cooking. All right, we are at 110. So I'm going to take this guy off the heat right away, and he is going to go on the mixer right after I throw in my instant espresso powder. We're just going to dissolve that in as best we can to this warm egg mixture. If you see a few granules, don't worry about it. It's going to go on the mixer for a while, so they will start to dissolve in there. Oh, it smells so good. Can't even lie how good that smells right now. We're going to put it on about medium-high. And this method is called the sponge method. And basically all you need to know about that is we're warming our eggs to 110. We're going to whip them on the mixer until they get to what we call a 3-second ribbon stage. I'm going to show you what that looks like. That's when we drizzle the batter over itself. And as the ribbon sits on top, we're going to count to 3. And when it sinks in at 3, that's the perfect ribbon stage. You can go a 2-second ribbon stage, a 5-second ribbon stage, but this particular recipe calls for a 3-second ribbon stage. So that's what we're going to do. I'll show you what that looks like. Once you get it down, you're going to be able to make any kind of sponge cake. Anything you see that says sponge that's not bread, you're going to be able to do. So that's a really fun method to use. All right, guys, I just wanted to illustrate this for you real quick. So this is what I would call about a 1-second ribbon stage, maybe less. So I'm drizzling that batter over itself. See how it's sitting on top for a little while? It's only been on the mixer about 3 minutes. It does take a while to get to a 3-second ribbon stage. See how that's like 1/1000, it starts to sink. We're looking for 3 seconds, but it won't take you too long. So check it at about 3 minutes, check it again at about 5. All right, guys, we got this to a 3-second ribbon stage. So when I drizzle it over, 1/1000, 2/1000, 3, falls after 3 seconds. So I feel pretty confident we are good there. This is a really sticky batter, this sponge. So just be careful while you're folding stuff in. I'm gonna do my flour, cocoa powder, baking powder, and a little bit of salt. We're gonna fold that in gently. We don't want to deflate our sponge too much as we fold. You see it's kind of resistant to stirring in, so I like to kind of cut through the middle as I'm folding. And I'm going to throw the chocolate chips in right after it's like mostly mixed in, but not exactly all of that flour, because I want to make sure I don't deflate the sponge too much. It's going to be quite a thick batter, so be prepared. Work your arm muscles a little bit. Oh, it's yummy. It smells so good. There's nothing like fresh biscotti. If you've had biscotti before, you probably were unimpressed with how tough it was. This is not going to come out tough at all. You can regulate how thick and how dark your biscotti is, let's say, and how crunchy by baking it a little longer in the oven. It's going to be twice baked. So I haven't quite finished folding in my flour. I'm going to throw in my chocolate chips, mix those in really nicely. Look at that. Oh, so yummy. So this is quite a sticky batter, which is why I've powdered sugared my baking sheet, and I'm also going to powder sugar the top and then form the log a little bit. You can make savory biscottis. And if you do that, I would recommend using bread flour or bench flour on your pan. Oh, it smells so good. I can't even lie. All right, this guy is ready to go. So I'm just gonna scrape him out of my bowl. And you can see it's kind of hard to form into a log just as the batter is. I'll use a bowl scraper sometimes, kind of help me pat it into place. Gloves are great for this. So I want to make this as even as possible because when I cut them later, I want them to be about the same size when they bake. Look at that, doesn't that look lovely? I'm gonna have some small little biscotti. If you wanna make them wider, you can do that. It's totally up to you. Just vary your baking time slightly. Looks good to me. Oh, yummy. So these get a really craggly surface. I think they are so pretty. We're gonna pop these in the oven. My oven's at about 325. We're gonna bake them for about 10 to 12 minutes. And we just wanna make sure that it springs back when we touch it. I'll show you what that looks like. And then after they've cooled down a bit, we're gonna slice them and bake them again at 275 until they get the texture we want. So we're gonna pull these biscotti out of the oven right now. This is just the first round of baking, but what I did to make sure that they were done, ooh, look at how beautiful and craggly that surface is, yum. So just to check the doneness for this first part, I just wanna make sure that they spring back slightly. See it on my touch? I touch it, push it down, it comes right back up. So this guy's good. We're gonna let it sit for at least an hour to cool down. I'm not gonna take it off the pan or anything. Once it's cool, we're gonna cut it into pieces and then bake it again, and that's our final biscotti. All right, guys, we got our biscotti twice baked, already cooled, and right now, in order to make them triple chocolate, I'm gonna drizzle some white chocolate on them. You can do milk chocolate, bittersweet, whatever makes you happy. I just like the aesthetic look of the white chocolate. So what I did is I put my piping bag with the chocolate inside in the microwave, did about 20 seconds at a time, and only took me about twice. Massage it in there so you don't get any lumps, and I cut off just a really small tip, and now we're just gonna drizzle, and I recommend leaving the second half so you can grab them from the top and you don't get chocolate all over you. But you know what? If you want chocolate all over you, that is fine. Oh, they're just so lovely. I really recommend eating these with a nice cappuccino on a cold winter day. Oh, yum. And then these two little end pieces, they're gonna be for me because I need to sample it. So I'm gonna go ahead and decorate them too. All right, guys, that's triple chocolate biscotti.